Yes, my dear students, my name is Mr. Emmanuel Chaz from Edukea Tanzania. Let us enjoy the session. Today, let us see Geography, topic manufacturing industry, Geography Form 2. So my dear students from Form 2 class, I need you to understand the meaning of manufacturing industry, and other terminologies like industrialization from this general concept or from this general topic of manufacturing industry. Yes, by definition, let us start with manufacture. When we talk about manufacture, this means to make or produce goods in large quantity using machinery. Manufacturing industry involves the production of goods by using machines at a higher quantity. Example, Dangote industry, Geograph industry, Simba industry, and the other industries that you are familiar with, of which now those industries are involving in the production of different goods or different materials according to the demands of the national economy. Therefore, industry has been playing a big part for the development of the national economy through paying of taxi, paying of revenue, providing of employment opportunity, and improving different living standard of the human being of the people available in the country. So manufacturing industry, in short, it involves the production of goods which had the quality for either for the domestic use or for the general use for the improvement of the national economy. Example, building of houses, building of infrastructures, and the building of other things which required materials from the industry. So my dear student, after looking at the meaning of manufacture, let us see now an industry. What is an industry? An industry is defined as any form of economic activity through which people produce goods and services for their own use for sale. Industries. This is an institution which involves the production of any form of economy. Activity through which people produce goods and services. You produce goods and services. Those goods are like clothes, water, and the other thing that can be produced in the industry. And the services, this is after the production of these goods, now you get services of those products from the industry. That is what we call services. For their own use for sale. Automatically after producing these goods in the industry, are sent to the market to be sold. So now we can get income or we can save some amount of money. This is all about the means of one exchange, of which now you pay money, you get services in terms of goods. That is what we call an industry, involving the production of goods and services for sale. And who buy this product? We human beings are going to the market every day. We are purchasing different goods like clothes, milk, water, and the other products that are producing from the industry. After looking at the meaning of industry, now let us see the general concept of manufacturing industry. The general concept of manufacturing industry means an industry that is involved in a large-scale production of goods using a machine. Manufacturing industry now, this involves the creation of or the manufacturing of different goods involving the use of machines. Because manufacturing industry is a big or a large-scale industry of which now goods are produced at a higher quantity and they have a good quality. So this, now manufacturing industry is there for the purpose of producing different goods from the industry or from different raw materials to create a particular end product. Example, textile industry produce goods like clothes and other materials that can be produced there. So manufacturing industry as an industry that involves a large scale production of goods using machinery has been put for the development of the country because it involves different things which relate to the payment of taxes and revenue in the government. So my dear student, after understanding this meaning or the concept of manufacturing industry now, let us see the advantage of manufacturing industry in any country, case study in Tanzania. It is the source of employment opportunity. This means that after opening this manufacturing industry, there is a need of labor to work in the industry so that they can provide money power for the development of that industry. So due to the presence of this manufacturing industry now, people get employment opportunity. That is first point of advantage. That is the one of the advantage of manufacturing industry. The second is it led to the diversification of the economy. What does it mean? Diversification of the economy now, the government do not depend in one sector of economy, for example in the tourism sector. But today, the campaign of our national economy is industrialization. So through industrialization now, people are engaging in the different economic activities in this industry, whereby now the economy of the country is become very big and very diversified and not focused on one sector, but it focuses in different sectors like industry sector and the other sector like tourism sector, fishing sector, agricultural sector, and the other sectors. That means that is the meaning of diversification of the economy. Point number 3, it is a source of foreign exchange. A source of foreign exchange, this means after the importation of raw material, raw material from one country to another country, this means that it led now to the exchange of goods with the foreign currency, whereby now through doing that the nation will earn foreign currency through any foreign currency. Through that exchange now, the foreign exchange now is very high. So due to the changes of that foreign exchange now, the national economy rise high. Also, it leads to the increase of agricultural production. How agricultural production increases due to the manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industry is there to produce different goods like machine also it produces goods like organic manure, fertilizers, pesticides, and the other things, of which now those products which are produced in the industry, after being applied in the agricultural sector, now the agricultural sector now develop, because those problems which hinders farmers now be solved. So of which now the agricultural activities is become very a simple task to every farm, of which now this will lead to the increase of agricultural production due to the application of science and technology, due to the end product of presence of this manufacturing industry. So my dear students, let's see now point number 5. Point number 5, it stimulates the development of infrastructure. Of course it is true, because after the manufacturing industry now to produce different goods and to be sold in the market, so those goods when be sold into the market, now the government collect those revenues and taxes, now after which now those both revenue and the taxes to be collected, now the government provides services in different areas. Example, schools, health center, water supply, electricity, as well as the construction of roads and the other system, of which now led to the improvement of this infrastructure. So after looking here now, my dear students, let us see point number 6. It improve international relationship. Yes, it is true that, my dear student, these sectors of industry improve international relationship, because when people move from one area to another area for export their raw materials or their end product from this industry, now create the connection from international market, of which now those international market ready to the creation of this good relationship among the people from different nations, whereby now they act as an ambassador of the country, of which now our national country or our national economy is very known even to the World Bank or to the international market. So this stimulates this relationship among the country members. Types of manufacturing industry. My dear student, now here we are looking at the advantage of manufacturing industry. So after looking at the advantage of manufacturing industry, my dear students, now let us see the types of manufacturing industry. There are only two types of manufacturing industry. The first is processing industry. The next is fabrication industry. So after looking at these types now, let us see one after another. The first is the processing industry. The processing industry, these are industries that use raw material from the primary industries and convert them into goods that can be used as raw material in other industries, which are example cotton, coffee factories and sisal factory. So this one, processing industry, is those industries or the primary industry of which now this processing industry are there to make the sophistication of those raw materials. So of which now it creation of the separation of unwanted material and the wanted material into two different parts, of which now those processing industry now ready to the reduce of an example to the coffee, remove that the back part of the coffee, of which now it remains the pure coffee, of which now that pure coffee will be taken to other industry, that will be fabrication industry, to produce the end product. So this processing industry is there so that it can lead to the separation of raw material and unwanted material. So those unwanted material will be taken away and those wanted material will be put aside so that it can be used in other industries so that to produce another product. So this processing industry are there because it is very important to reduce the number of unwanted material from the raw materials. So after looking here, my dear student, now let us see the fabrication industry. The fabrication industry, these are types of industries which use raw materials from processing industry to create a new product like clothes, machine, etc. So this processing industry now, fabrication industry now, is there now to turn raw material into a new product. Example, it turns the cotton to become clothes, it turns iron to become machine, and it turns other product to become other products. So therefore, after looking at that now, my dear students, let us focus on the factor influencing the location of an industry in any country. Case study here in Tanzania. Firstly, yes, my dear student, the first is raw material. This raw material is one of the factors that is related to the location of one industry in a certain area. If there is a presence of material, the industry will be located. Also, there is a poor power or example energy. Power, this means an electricity. An electricity will be ready for the run of the machines like in the factory. Also, point number 3 is labor. Labor means skilled labor and unskilled labor, of which now these laborers will be used to provide money power in the industry for the squeeze or runs of the machine, because machine also needed to be operated with these laborers. So skilled labor and unskilled labor are needed. There is capital. Capital also is very important for the purchasing of materials from one area to another area, of which now capital, if with the presence now, the industry can be there because of the higher investment. Also there is market, so of which now market ready to the location of an industry due to the finish. After the finishing to make a production, now the product will be sent to the market. So if there is a market now, the high demands, if there is a high demand, so also the product will be sold. So if this market is good, and the product also will be purchased at a higher amount. Also there is transport and the communication. Transport and the communication, this involves the simplification of transporting material from one area to another area. Either processing industry or processing industry or the end product from the industry. So of which now this will relate to the availability of material in the market, also availability of raw material into the industry. Also there is water. Water also is very essential due to the cooling of machines. Also processing industry involve the using of water. Also water is very important. So the location of an industry need also the presence of water. Also there is government policy. Government policy. If the government policy is very high, is very crucial and is very supportive to so this sector of industry, so the industry will be ready to develop in a particular area, because the government now will support and you will put the policies, then the good policies. Maybe example here now, Tanzania, we have Tanzania ya viwanda, of which now this Tanzania ya viwanda has been promoted with the head of the state, who is our president, and the prime minister, and those ministers of this sector. So of which now the sector develop very nice. So because of the government policy and the government support, help now this to develop, of which now if any country support the sector of industry or any sector, this ready to the development of the industry. So my dear student, now before to wind up, let us see the question now. Let us see this question here, that what are the challenges? What are the challenges which faces the sector? Which faces the sector of agriculture, of industries in the country. My dear student, in the country. My dear student, now before to wind up the session, you are responsible to do this question in your group, that what are the challenges that faces the sector of industry. You should recognize that there are different problems which faces any sector, but here it is the sector of industry. If the sector of industry has the challenges, what should be done, and what are those challenges, and what do you advise the sector of industry, or what do you advise the government, so that it can solve those problems which hinders these investors, or which faces the investors in the sector of industry. Thank you very much, my dear student. Let us wind up here today.
Purchase your tracks today.